And I'm making good money, but there's no plane. There's no jet to charter. Like, we're in the middle of freaking the woods. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we push this damn plane out. We get in. It's hotter than hell. I take my shirt off. I'm literally drenched in sweat. I'm in like business slacks. I take all my shirts off, my cousin's shirt. We're sweating our asses off. And I'm sitting there on the plane. And I'm like, is this guy really a pilot? And they're like, calm, like calm the hell, like calm down. It's all good. So I'm praying the entire time, sweating my ass off. The propellers are going. And I swear to God, dude, we
it's
flew
not a
off,
good sign when you have the propellers.
We flew off a mountain and we landed in a freaking field. The light at their airport lighting was people's car headlights. We land. I get off the plane, kissing the damn ground. I'm so thankful I didn't die in a freaking plane crash.
Hey guys, welcome back to Driven Channel, and I'm here again with a very special guest. Dude, you make me feel old. You're like the new kid on the block. So first of all, I just want to tell you, hey, we've been like DMing for a while.
Yeah.
And I've been following you. I've been seeing you speak. You're speaking in all these stages, all across like all these countries, and motivating a lot of people, teaching a lot of people. You're very successsul at a young age, 33, right?
33, baby, 33.
And so you're a big inspiration, and I recognize it's real, and we had to meet up. It's been like planned forever, but I'm very happy to get you here. And I know you were local. You were in Coachella, having some fun and all that. So Alex Morton. Very excited for this conversation, and I want to know more about you.
Yeah.
For those of you for those people that don't know who Alex is, can you tell people like, who is Alex? What does Alex do? How did you become successful?
Yeah.
And once again, thank you for being on the show, brother.
Hey, great to be here. And I want to give it back to you, man. I appreciate everything you said. First off, you don't look your age. Look way younger than your age, which is amazing. And yeah, we've been DMing back and forth, and finally here, and it's amazing. I want to say congrats to you. You know, this guy just showed me his empire here, and it's impressive, man. Like, I've been around the world and I've seen a lot of pretty impressive individuals and places, and this is like a serious enterprise. He got the gym, got the showers, got the bathroom, got companies here, kids over there. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, thank you. So congrats. So yeah, I mean, wow, 33, now, ever since I was a young kid, I wanted to be successful. I think a lot of people say that. And, born in Houston, Texas, grew up in a very small town called Bexley, Ohio, 2 pizza parlors, 2 ice cream shops. Mom and dad worked very hard to provide. They had a life insurance company, and they were working 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day. But they never missed my sister's soccer games, and they were at every football game. My dad picked me up after football practice. I don't know how they did it, but at a young age, I kind of saw work ethic. I saw this whole idea of, if you can believe it and dream it, you can do it. Kind of these motivational mantras, but they're real. Like, these philosophies are real. So I go through school, grades were okay. I graduated with like a 2.9 GPA. I applied to Ohio State. They tell me no. I applied to Indiana. They tell me no. I applied to Oklahoma. They put me on a wait list, and then they tell me no. And then I applied to Arizona State, and they said yes. I think they let everybody in with a heartbeat, And I got out there, my mind was blown. Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm seeing like Ferraris my first time, Lamborghinis, wealth, money. And I'm like, dude, I got to figure out how to get whatever that is, whatever these people do. Yeah. I need to figure out what it is they're doing. So there's a lot to unpack. I know we're going to talk about it, but got involved in business. First it was real estate, then it was network marketing, and it's taking me all over the world and allows me to meet amazing people like you. Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, by the way. And so what was that moment where did you graduate from Arizona or no?
I did. So I got to about $4,000 a month in college. And back then, like, when you're broke and then you're making $4K a month, to me, I'm like, wow, I'm rich, right?
Yeah.
But my mom said, listen, no matter what, you're graduating college.
Yeah.
Like I will fly out there and I will break your neck.
Yeah.
Like, you got to graduate. So I graduated with a communications degree. I was in the business school, and freshman year, 18, I got a 63% on my first economics exam. And the professor's like, listen, young man, you're never going to make money in business. Mm-hmm. So leave the business school. And I said, this is too hard anyway. So I signed up in communications because I asked, what do all the athletes take? And they said they're comm majors. So I said, all right, I'll go be a comm major. But yeah, I have a 4-year degree from college. I do.
Awesome. And you've spoke in 76 countries?
Yes.
76 countries. When did you start speaking, and how did you get into speaking? Because you became, I mean, you're one of the best speakers in the world. Like I see that. You with Ed Milet, and I know that Proctor was one of your mentors.
Yep, Bob Proctor, yep.
And so you've been, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. And to be speaking in all these different countries, what's first, what got you to speaking? And then also second, how did you get in all these countries, and how's that experience?
Well, I got my real estate license at 18, and then I got invited to a meeting at 21. And this guy, my dad's friend said, hey, you should look at this company. It's his business. It's his vitamin drink, blah, blah, blah. My dad said, I'm busy. Talk to my kid. He goes to ASU. He wants to be a millionaire. He doesn't like school, but he's there. Talk to him. Yeah. So I get invited to this meeting, and this guy walks in. He's talking about waking up when you're done sleeping, having 6 Saturdays and 1 Sunday, getting rich, becoming a millionaire. And I'm sitting there in the back, arms crossed, too good to be true. One of those things. And the more I kind of like dove into what this was, I'm like, man, this actually makes kind of sense, because I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he talks about business ownership and investor. And this guy in front of me is talking about being a business owner. Mm-hmm. Everybody in college is like, graduate, go get a job, be told when to show up to work, when to eat lunch, when to pee, when to go to Disneyland one time a year with your family. Yeah. And I'm like, that's not for me. So I got started in this business, and it was healthy energy drinks, vitamin supplements. And the way to make money was, selling products and services. And the way to sell products and services, especially back then, was speaking. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay. I went to my first company convention, and all these people were on stage. And I remember somebody told me, they said, Alex, the person with the microphone makes the most money. So I'm like, okay, I got to get to the microphone, which means I gotta speak. So I Googled the top money earners in the profession, and I would go on YouTube, and then I would go find, like, if Albert was in Phoenix making 50 grand a month in another company speaking at an event, I would sneak in the back. I would do this to other leaders in other companies, and I would watch people speak, and I just emulated what they were doing. So I guess my first speech was 10 of my buddies in a living room. And then now that's scaled to, we had 7,000 people in Quito, Ecuador. We had, Grant's event was 30,000 in Miami. So I guess it started with one person. Yeah. Right. One person turned into 5, turned into 10, turned into 20. And now it's tens of thousands of people all over the world.
So when you listen to people speak, you kind of see the people and or the person that's speaking. You learn just visually looking at the person. But how different is it? What's the difference between watching them and when you actually do it? Because you've spoke like how many times? Like thousands of times now. So the first time you spoke in front of a lot of people, whether that was 100 people or 1,000 people, how was that feeling, and how much have you improved? Was it a process that you got better? Because most people, when you control the mic, you control people listen to you. When you don't have the mic, then you reach less people. Right. So when did you start becoming a great speaker where you were capturing the audience and making a difference?
I think we were doing lots of home presentations. So I know like a lot of guys in insurance, solar, network marketing, they're doing like home presentations, home meetings, right? So it started where I had 10 people in a room, and I found out it's not what you say necessarily, it's how you say it. Yeah. And then I started studying like Tony Robbins, and he's talking about tonality, your body language, right? How to like go super, super fast and then slow it down, dramatic pauses. So I'm like, okay, if all these people are multimillionaires speaking and selling, I just got to do what it is they're doing. So it started, with just learning the basics and the fundamentals. And I remember this quote, facts tell, but stories sell. So I found out even at 21 when I was making very little money, but when my income started to go from $0 to $500 a month, $1,000 a month, I met Bob Proctor at $400 a month, and he became my mentor, one of the greatest blessings in my entire life, right? I found out that when you make compelling stories and you really seek to solve people's problems, instead of me trying to sell this can of energy drink, I'm finding your problem and here's the solution, right?
Yeah.
So my first company was very simple. It wasn't even about the products. The compelling story was you're in school, but how many young guys graduate UCLA, USC, Arizona State with a business degree? Then what, right? Go get a job and say, this is something different. So I would use the art of storytelling and then really just saying, listen, you guys are going to graduate and be pretty much screwed, for lack of different word. Mm-hmm. You need to own your own business. This is what you do. This is the solution. We're going to do this together. Let's rock and roll. And that company was where I made my first, $1 million before my 25th birthday.
Yeah. And talk about Bob Proctor. He was your mentor, right? How important has mentorship been to you? Because I think the reason why you are so successful at a young age is because you really invested money and time into mentorship. Because I did that. Ever since I was 19, 20, I started reading a bunch of books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad was a book. I went through Principles, Ray Dalio, Blue Ocean Strategy, and so on. So how important and when did you start mentorship? And talk a little bit about Bob Proctor, because I know you were talking to him until he passed. Yeah. And he was very close to you. So talk about that.
Yeah, I think mentorship is the ultimate time collapser, right? Because when I got started in business, people were telling me, hey, Alex, if you can get to 6 figures a year in your first 2 to 4 years, that you're doing really, really well. And I said, well, I need to collapse time here because I don't want to get rich at, 45, 50. I want to become wealthy in my 20s, travel the world, have fun, do my thing, right? So when you have mentors in your life, they're giving you what works. Like they're taking out the guessing game. Like I tell people, you can learn from your own mistakes or you can learn from mentors. So when I met Bob, when he said, hey, Alex, do this, I knew that was going to work. So I did it. Anything he told me to do, he said, be in front of a prospect every morning before 10 a.m. I said, okay, because I know he's coached hundreds of thousands of people to 6 and 7 figure incomes, right? So then it was Bob, and then it was, Grant Cardone. We built a relationship. I invested in Cardone Capital. I've invested in him, more mentorship stuff. Ed Milet recently. It's not free to get around these people. Some random kid comes up to you on the street. Hey, Albert, can I meet with you every Monday at 3:00? You're like, dude, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I got kids. I got a wife. I got a huge company, right? So yeah. I think if people were, listening to this, how do I get in the right rooms, Alex? How do I network? How do I go find mentors? You have to sometimes pay to play to get in these groups, these masterminds, these mentorships, these events. Get to the events, right? Bump elbows, shake hands, exchange business cards, do whatever you need to do, to build this environment. And then they always say when the mentee is ready, the mentor will appear. And that comes down to, personal belief, right?
Yeah. When you talk to people, to a group, what are like your key things that you like to teach that have helped you in your career? Because you became a millionaire at 24, is that right?
Yeah, before my 25th birthday. Yep.
So how did you do that? And number one, and what is it like? What are the key things that you teach people on how to do it? And can anybody do that? Like, if you find a kid that's 18, 19, can you help them also become a millionaire by 24, or does it vary on people?
It varies on their level of discipline, desire, and their ability to be teachable and coachable. So the way I made my first million was I was a part of a company that sold products. So the CEO said, hey, if you have, what were the numbers? I think I had to have, 12,000. Alex, if you have 12,000 people drinking my products every single month, I'm going to pay you 80 to 100 grand a month. And I said, yeah? He said, yeah. I said, okay. So I printed out the compensation plan, put it on my dorm room wall, paying $400 a month for this, nasty ass bedroom. And I said, all right, I'm going to build a team of 12,000 people drinking this stuff every month. And this guy's going to pay me $1 million a year. I'm going to go do that. So when I teach people things, it's what I did in my life. Writing down your goals in the present tense is a big thing. When I was 21, I said, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am a millionaire before my 25th birthday. Everyone said I was nuts, crazy, stupid. That stuff doesn't work. Oh, personal development is a bunch of hocus pocus. I'm like, you can think whatever you want. Think and Grow Rich is real.
Yeah.
Robert Kiyosaki is like Tony Robbins these are real people with real results with amazing lifestyles, right? So writing down your goals. And then one of my biggest points of direction is find somebody that has exactly what you want and do exactly what it is they do. And that's what I've always done. I found people in my profession, and anybody can do this: mortgage, real estate, insurance, network marketing. Hey, who's making 80 to 100 grand a month? What do they do every single day? What are their daily methods of operation? Mm-hmm. And that is what I did. It's like if you're a young basketball player, you're going to go study Steph Curry and LeBron and Kawhi Leonard and the greatest players in the NBA. So in business, why do people think, oh, well, I'm going to do it my own way? Why would I have mentors? Why would I pay for coaching? Why would I try to learn? Why would I read this guy's book? I'm going to do it my own way. To me, you're wasting so much time. Mm-hmm. So I think anyone watching, whatever you're trying to do, most of the time, someone's already done it.
Yeah.
Find out their game plan, their strategy, their blueprint, and then, turn it up. Right? Like I didn't want to make 100 grand a year in 2 to 4 years. I wanted to make $1 million a month, before my 35th birthday. Right?
Yeah.
So you can take someone's game plan and then just 10X. I don't want to use 10X, but you know what I mean? Double it, triple it, 4X it, right?
Yeah. So you're from Texas. You lived in Miami, right?
Yes. Born in Houston, grew up in Ohio, school in Arizona. And then lived in Miami, Beverly Hills a little bit. Now we're in Vegas, kind of everywhere a little bit.
So how do are you still, you're international, right? Right now?
Yeah. Right now we split time between Vegas, Marbella, Dubai, and our place in Tulum is almost done.
How do you end up in Marbella and Dubai? Like, how do you end up in those? Because that's like here locally in the US, it's pretty easy to move around. But how do you end up international? Because like a lot of people are successful in the US.
Yeah.
But how do you become successful? How do you make money being international?
Yeah.
Because I don't know that game. I've never done that myself. So how do you end up over there?
Yeah.
And continue to grow your business?
Well, some businesses you can expand internationally and globally. Because I don't know, every business maybe has different requirements, licenses, and all these different things. But for me, we're open in 100 plus countries. So like my first company, we weren't open everywhere. So I couldn't build businesses all over the planet.
Yeah.
But because right now it's everything's digital. Mm-hmm. And on social media, 50% of people that follow probably all of us in here don't even live in America.
Right.
So I tell people it's great to make money over here, but the hunger and level of desire in other parts of the world is astronomically bigger. I love America. I'm red, white, and blue. I'm a patriot. I love this country. But most of our groups and teams work harder in other parts of the world.
Why do you think that?
I know why. Here, there's so much more distraction and there is more opportunity because over here, you're a young 18, 19-year-old guy or girl. You can get in solar, mortgage, insurance, network marketing, internet marketing, trading, real estate license. But in some of these countries, man, it's tough. And it's a lot of socialism out there. And then you got young people on Instagram seeing, all of your Ferraris and stuff like, yo, there's not a Ferrari in my entire country. Right. Yeah. But over in America, people are living large. But now because of social media and Instagram, I'm networking with people in, Tokyo. We have 2,000 people in Cairo, Egypt. And over there, they work 12, 15 hours a day because it's one of the only ways to take care of their family and, get ahead of this ever-changing, crazy, digital world. Again, I love America, but people here are lazy, man. Yeah. They're lazy. They're drinking too much. They're smoking too much. and they take everything for granted, and then they complain, they bitch and complain.
Mm-hmm.
Because over here, for some reason, people think, oh, well, this president's going to take care of me. And I tell people all the time, you know, Trump never came into my doorstep with money. Obama never came to my doorstep with money. So one of my personal philosophies is take personal responsibility for yourself. And I think people in other countries, they're hungrier, man. I remember being in Quito, Ecuador, meeting single mothers who I met a woman. She told me she was in a tiny little minivan. 17 hours through the mountains of Ecuador to come to the event to get information. Wow. I'll go do an event in LA tonight. I'm not, but if I did, there'd be kids down the block. Nah, man, I'm watching the NBA playoffs. And then tomorrow morning complain about how they're broke. Yeah. That's the difference.
Yeah. So in Quito, how much is a ticket to go to an event? Like, because there were 7,000 people, right, in that place.
Yeah.
How much do people pay there to go to events? Because that's not.
It was way cheaper there.
Like more or less, like what's it?
In that event, honest to God, it was 2017, I think, was Quito. Maybe 2018 before COVID.
Yeah.
It might have been $30, $30 US to go.
Yeah.
But then our
event, a lot of money to them.
Absolutely. And we're not trying to, we're trying to help people. You know what I mean? We're trying to just cover costs.
Yeah.
But then an event like for instance, in 3 weeks, I'm in Paris. Our group over there putting the event together, they told me literally the venue in Paris, France is literally 40,000 euros just for a space, right? So over there, obviously a ticket can't be $30. So it varies based on, the region and how much money people are making. Because again, the purpose is to help people.
What about in Dubai? You spoke over there before?
Some smaller meetings in Dubai.
Yeah.
We took all the 6-figure and 7-figure earners to Dubai, to Atlantis as a leadership retreat, ATVs.
You don't see yourself moving there?
My wife was born in UAE. But I think it's a beautiful place. Amazing people, great opportunity. There's a couple cultural things. I don't like how like when you check into a hotel, they won't look your wife in the eye. They won't ask how she's doing. They will only talk to you. So I'm a big person. I believe women are equal as men. I think there's different roles in all of that.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to be respectful to me
Yeah.
and disrespect my wife. That makes me mad.
So if I go there with my wife and kids, they'll look at me.
You'll have a lot of fun. Yeah. It'll be a great time, but it's how are you doing, sir?
Yeah.
How's everything? It's very and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's different than the Western culture.
Yeah. No, I never been there. That's why I'm asking.
No, Dubai's a great place, man.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Great shopping, great food, very safe. Very safe. That's our real estate agent there told me you can take a Rolex off and put it on the sidewalk and it will be there an hour later because people know they will not get away with it. I think it's the only place on the planet with more cameras than Vegas.
Oh, wow.
And the crimes are a lot harsher punished there. Like we were joking over here with RD talking about in LA, you can rob someone and they, go ahead.
Yeah.
Over there, there's where you're getting punished.
You don't want to come back to California.
No.
Unless you're with Albert.
Yeah.
I'll take care of you. Yeah. but a lot of things have changed here in California, and you, I think as you grow though, you kind of you learn and you have to adapt. I think you talk about this about change and pivoting, and then also building momentum. Talk about momentum. I know you talk about momentum creator. So what does that mean, and how important is momentum once you get it?
Yeah. The whole momentum catalyst creator thing came about because my first company when I came in, it went from about 47 million to over 222 million, and then my most recent company, it's not me, but we literally took it from a couple $1 million a year to over $1 billion in sales collectively, right? So momentum starts with you. First and foremost, you can have the best mentors in the world, the best product and service and offering and brand, but if it all begins with a personal decision.
Yeah.
Decisions definitely shape our destiny. And I think if you're like, I want to get into momentum summer 2023 in my mortgage business, my insurance business, whatever it is, it's getting clarity on what you want to accomplish, having a proven game plan. And then where people mess up, they don't stick to it. Like discipline, people say, Alex, what's the X factor? Like how are you able to do it bigger than anyone in your profession under the age of 35 ever? It's discipline. Because so many people, they can stick to it for an hour, a day, a week, a month, even a year. But I tell people I was disciplined and consistent for a decade.
Yeah.
And like you said before, can you take any 18, 19-year-old kid and help them become a millionaire? I believe the answer is yes, if they're willing, and you talk about this too, doing whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know, people get on Instagram, they get on your page and all these different, social media people, and they think everything's just a big game and it's all easy and it's Ferrari tomorrow and Lamborghini Thursdays, but they didn't see your grind and blood and sweat and tears and long nights and probably anxiety and doubting yourself and going through so much stuff.
Yeah.
They just see the end result. So momentum is getting clarity, personal decision, having the right game plan, having the right coach, mentor, someone to help, guide you down this path. And then sticking to it. Success is simple, man, but people just don't want to do the necessary things for success.
Alex, talk about your routine, your schedule, like Monday through Friday. How is your Monday through Friday? How does that look like? How many are you a smart worker, not hard, or do you believe in working smart and hard? What do you do? Do you take any time off, or are you just a grinder where you work Monday through Friday, you work weekends? How does that look like in your life?
Yeah, well, it's definitely changed. When I first got started, it was straight working hard. And I kind of learned the hard way because, even though it paid me a couple $1,000,000, I realized in my first company, if I wasn't involved on every call, every Zoom, every meeting, every presentation, every event promotion, the business would take a hit. So it was a me dependent instead of a system dependent. And then in 2016, when I joined this new company I'm currently with, right, almost 7 years now, 8 years almost, right? It was all on the system. So that allowed me to be working, of course, hard, but also smart. So where if I go to the Maldives or Turks and Caicos or Coachella for 3 days like I just did and don't pick up my phone for 72 hours, will the business continue to grow and thrive? Now the answer is yes. Before, the answer was no. So my schedule when I'm not on tour, I'm working out 5-6 days a week. I'm doing my best to eat relatively good. I met Gary Brecka, hit the story he shares where it was either payroll or the mortgage payment, and he chose payroll. I was actually in his kitchen during that week, so I saw kind of like where that was going. Yeah. So he's been my health coach for a while. So I'm working out. I was 26% body fat. I'm like 15 now, trying to get like you still. And I keep a calendar, Google Calendar. Yeah. People think, I got to spend 20 grand a month on my social media. I need a 10 grand a month chef. You can do all that down the road, but people can be productive and efficient and have very little money.
Yeah.
Right? Stick to a calendar. This is one of my things. Before I go to sleep tonight, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. And then I just stick to the damn thing, right? So my kind of flow, prayer and gratitude every morning.
How many hours do you usually sleep?
When I'm not on tour, I'm probably getting 6 to 7.
Well, and then when you're on tour, how many?
It just depends on these events, man.
Sometimes no sleep. Sometimes
some of these stretches, like our last little stretch, I think it's like a tiny town in Germany, London, and then Warsaw, Poland.
Do you still work out when you're on tour?
I do. I do my best.
Yeah.
At least cardio.
Yeah.
Because if I can do cardio, I can still eat like the pasta and Rome and pizza and I try to break even on tour. I'm not trying to make any gains or lose any fat. I'm just trying to can I leave at 185 and come back at 185? Because it's tough on the road.
It's kind of hard when you're on the road to eat your healthy meals and all that. So when you're on tour, do you give the same exact speech every single night or when you're performing?
It varies. So I'll usually make like a new PowerPoint for the tour, but then I'll have a slide on something, but it will take me off in a different direction. So I'll usually do 60 to 90 minutes of whatever I'm going to talk about. goals or the spiritual side of success or how to manifest your dream and desires into physical manifestations and realities. And then now we're opening it up to a lot more Q&A because I've realized, if one guy raises his hand and has a challenge in his business, there's another 100 people in the room that have the same exact challenge, right? So I think Q&A is really good because now I don't know the question and I'm helping someone right then and there on their concrete business.
Yeah.
And it's also helping everybody else. And it usually takes me off on different tangents on, the last 13 years of my career and different challenges that I've had to overcome that now help me help these people overcome their challenges.
Yeah. And I also seen your social media like blown up. Because I saw you before, like I followed you for years back. I knew who you were, but we never really met, but I followed you and I saw your stuff. But now you're up to like 1 million followers. I think I checked on Instagram. And there's a lot of people with a lot of followers, but I can see their views are not that high.
Right.
So I could see the engagement's not there, whether they bought followers, whether they're whatever. But you get a lot of views on all your stuff. So you have a lot of real people there. So those people, are those US people, or do you think they're like international since you're all international all around the place?
Yeah. It's both. A lot of the tours between 2016 and now, South America, Mexico, Europe, Egypt for the first time about 2 years ago. And now we're in Asian countries too. So we're going to be in Japan later this year, Kazakhstan. So that's the thing. Again, like you can build a brand living in Los Angeles and you can develop an enormous group of people in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable how you can build an international brand from your backyard. And I think people should be doing that. I know some people say, well, Alex, I'm a real estate agent in Miami, so my only market I care about is here. You don't know what the future holds. If you would have told me I was going to do the most of my money in my wealth accumulation in a digital educational company with Forex and crypto and e-commerce and a travel, I would say, dude, you're insane. There's no way I'm going to ever do that.
Yeah.
And now I'm 7 years deep in it, right? Yeah. So no one knows what the future holds, but I do know when you have brand equity, people know you and you have attention and you have real results, I feel like that type of individual could go win. Like you could go win in any industry.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to build in your, build local, but also think global.
You're on how many platforms right now?
The main one right now is Instagram. We have YouTube. To be honest, I don't do a good enough job on everything.
Yeah.
We used to build a Facebook fan page. I think it's up to maybe 100,000 people on there. But I found Instagram has been the best recruiting tool for my business. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of the 18 to 35 market is Instagram. I know TikTok's big and I probably missed out on TikTok, to be honest, but I think the most, like when we survey our company, the most enrollments of customer acquisition is stemming from Instagram. So that's where we really post every day and really go hard on.
When did your Instagram take off? Do you remember the date of when it just really started taking off fast?
I feel like it was a couple years ago.
Really?
I think when we really hit maybe 3 or 4 years ago, because it all started on Facebook. Like my first selfie videos in the car screaming my head off as a 22-year-old pumped up kid, that was on Facebook, And then when Instagram came out, we kind of started just chopping up stuff and getting it on, Instagram over and over and over again. And then in these markets, we'll put up something like this and I'll have like a QR code and they can just take their phone out, boom. And now they're following me right there from Stockholm, Sweden, or Munich, Germany, and all of a sudden you got people all over the world. And I love America, man, because you go to these other countries, the youth of these countries, they watch the American entrepreneurs.
Yeah, yeah.
Like and the Grant Cardone, like people, like Grant and Ed, like the people over there, like in Germany, their podcasts they're listening to.
Yeah,
these are U.S. based people.
It's weird because people over there want to come here, and I'm like, fuck, I want to go over there.
Dude, I know. America's done a great job of painting a really great,
perfect, beautiful place.
Yeah, and then people come. Like my wife, she's like, oh, this is. She loves New York, but everyone thinks it's going to be way more than it is. Like America, America, America. And again, I love America, man. I really do. I hope we can stay strong somehow, some way. But, you know, you come to LA and you're like, wait, there's homeless camps everywhere.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like the movies, you know? But yeah, everyone wants to come to America.
That's why I had to go all the way to Bel Air, because I was like in Beverly Hills, started getting bad there. So I'm like, fuck, I'm going to go to Bel Air.
Dude. It's crazy. It really is.
Is Europe nicer? What do you say? You like Europe better than the States?
My friends, I'm leaving for Europe in 2 weeks, and they're telling me you better have security. We're getting robbed in London. So my wife's friends told me they're like, we don't leave our house after 10 p.m. in London anymore.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
You know, last time I was in Milan, it looked like a weird Netflix movie after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So no, I would not say Europe's in a better situation, because over there, I feel like they're even more oppressive on, freedom. Over here, we're still waving the flag of entrepreneurship. Over there, they're like, oh, you're an entrepreneur? We want 50%.
Yeah.
Every single one of our 6 and 7 figure guys from Germany, they all went to Dubai. 0% income tax.
Yeah, smart. I seen you with a lot of watches, and you like cars too. When you were 24 and you were like going crazy, what kind of cars were you driving back then?
So
22, I think you said.
Yeah, so my first ever car was I'll give you the whole thing. Yeah. 1998 Ford Expedition 16, Lexus IS 250 when I was doing real estate, BMW 335i Sports Edition at 22. BMW 650i M Sport. That was like 115 grand back in the day, that's a nice right? One, yeah. And then I'm like, I don't need a car. I'm going to go fly all over the world and build this thing like crazy. But then when I started making like, good money, Rolls Royce Wraith in Miami, that was a fun car. And then when I met my wife, the Cullinan came out. And I'm like, dude, let's get the freaking Cullinan, man. This thing is sick. So
I saw you with a nice 5980 Patek.
Yep.
That's the Patek watch they stole from me outside of here.
Shit, dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's my favorite watch.
That's a nice one. I love that. Well, I think you DM'd me last time. I was wearing it, and you said that's my favorite.
It is.
I think it was you. Yeah.
It's smooth, man. Yeah. So that I like. Rolex Presidential is a good one just to have. Yeah. I got a big RM. Yeah. Big diamond thing. I don't really wear it much though, but. Yeah, Patek.
It's sad that it's like that now, but hey, I think it's more important for you to I think when you really make it, or when you make it to a certain level, you value different things. Like I turned 40 a week and a half ago, and
happy birthday.
Thank you. And I learned, and I realized that what I value more now is before you want to be famous, you want to be a celebrity, you want the blue check mark. Now people buy the check mark
for $15.
But you want to have followers, you want to be known. And now when you grow and you create more wealth, you value exclusivity, privacy, and nobody knowing where you are.
Absolutely,
and
man.
So that's what I realized. So when I'm with my daughters, like we have like a undercover car that we drive, because we don't want anybody to know where we are and where we're going, because I want to be with my daughters and I want to be exclusive to them. And like I want to have my privacy time. But going back to your social media, do you believe that blowing up your social media was a huge part to your success? We'll get into networking, but your social media, when that grew, did that open up a lot more doors, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, in my industry, the last 50 people I've brought into our company, and decent amount of them went on to do amazing things. It was all social media. I mean, it really was. Like the biggest recruit of my career that led to tens of millions of dollars was social media, because people I talk to, they're like, I mean, it's not weird anymore, but it used to be weird. They would say, I know your parents' names, Mark and Sandy. I know your little sister's name. Yeah. Oh, I remember watching you at Arizona State on YouTube, you know? Yeah. So it lets us build a relationship with the world without any one-on-one time. So by the time they're like, I've seen this guy win for this amount of years. I've seen the car, I've seen why he travels, this and that. He's a genuine dude. I'm ready to do business. So I think it is imperative people build their social media.
Yeah.
Especially where we're going now. I mean, dude, does anybody even watch TV anymore? Like, it's Netflix, Amazon Prime.
People are just using their phone.
That's it. I mean, that's the ABC, NBC.
Most powerful tool that you'll find. Make millions with this.
Yeah.
Billions.
Billions.
Look at the Kardashians.
Absolutely, man. She charged Kylie's what, 1.2 million bucks for an Instagram post. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So, yeah, everyone's got to build a brand. And now podcasting is becoming another television channel.
Yeah.
Even recently, I found myself constantly listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I'm like a personal development junkie, man. I just freaking love it, dude. Like I literally, like I thoroughly enjoy what I do so much. I never feel like I'm working, but I love listening to other inspiring stories, whether it's like Hormozy, I love his stuff. There's just so many people, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're watching this and you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're an investor, unless you have a trust fund of, 50 million coming in next year, you need to build an online presence.
Yeah.
Because people got to know you to give you money.
Yeah. Well, people buy from who they know.
That's it.
Now your social media, do you post all your posts? Do you have a team? And how do you come up with the content?
So, I was with one guy he was probably with him for like 6 years. And then he kind of went and did his own thing. So right now I've got one guy that kind of manages everything. But to be honest, and a lot of creators won't like this. I mean, dude, we found a team. I don't know what country they're based in, but I get like 25 videos a month. We send the footage, they chop it up. Dude, I think we give them like $1,200 a month. And because this is the thing, it used to be the high production value videos. I think they hit more back in the day. Because if you look at these biggest brands, dude, The Rock is iPhone.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, who lives out in Vegas, I see him driving around in his Escalade and stuff. Dude, he friggin' he goes, hey man, shoot this video. It's his like, fat buddy from high school shooting Mark Wahlberg promoting his new tequila brand. It's all organic.
Yeah.
So we kind of went away from the crazy effects and to like, dude, point and shoot, give people value.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people out there now.
Yeah.
So I think it's almost more valuable to just give people what it is they want. That's why you see a lot of these podcasts. It's just like this: 2 microphones, 2 guys sitting here chopping it up, and that's viewed more than this. Because anyone can go rent a Lamborghini Urus now.
Yeah.
You can go get on a private jet and do a photo shoot. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Nobody gives a shit anymore. They want to like, yo, help me, bro.
Yeah.
Teach me.
Yeah. Now, Alex, they follow you at Alex Morton Mindset.
Yep.
Why did you choose that that handle? Like, mindset stands out for me. Is that something that has really been important to you, the mindset part?
Yeah. So my initials are AMM. So that's AMM also. So that was one of the things. But I think mindset it's not everything, but it's one of the only things that matters, because after 76 countries, working and training probably 1 million plus people, if you don't have the right mindset, man, it's gonna be tough for you. Because that's where the mental fortitude comes in. That's where the imagination comes in. That's where your teachability index is. Like, you can sit down with somebody and teach them how you built this mega mortgage empire, but if that person's not coachable and won't listen to what you have to say to him, he's not gonna go win.
Yeah.
So mindset is it's one of the biggest things. Absolutely. I mean, it is, because Think and Grow Rich, all these chapters, it's all mindset. Right. Desire, the will. And then we have these higher mental faculties: desire, will, reason, imagination, memory, perception. This is all in our mind. And I've come to the realization from countless hours of studying and events, and obviously Bob Proctor influencing me for 12 years until he literally passed away a year ago, right? Everything begins in the mind.
Yeah.
Your company, this studio, the iPhone, the Celsius, everything began in the mind. So everyone's success is also going to begin in the mind. So if this isn't right, man, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. Now let's talk about your book. You have a book that you wrote that was a bestseller. You have another one coming out soon. But your first book, is that the only book you've written so far? The one that you have? So
Dorm Room to Millionaire, I wrote that. I started it 2 weeks after I found out I made my first $1 million. I didn't even know I made my first $1 million. The CEO called me and said, "Hey man, just want to let you know you're the youngest and fastest ever that I've ever paid $1 million to."
Was that like you didn't know because the year wasn't over yet, or?
I didn't know because I was walking into a meeting in Montreal, Canada, and that's one of the nuggets for people is be so into what it is you're doing, you're almost not even looking at the scoreboard. You're focused on the plays, man.
Yeah,
that's big. People get so caught up in their back office, their weekly sales. Dude, instead of staring at your sales chart, go make 50 more phone calls.
Yeah.
Go do 50 more presentations.
Yeah. You know what you said is very key, because before I used to I used to like log in the bank account. I used to like stare at the numbers all the time.
Yep.
Like hoping that numbers were going to change drastically. And now I just focus on being so busy, but with important things. And I hired a bunch of staff that helps me with everything that I can get help with.
Yep.
That way I can focus on high level activities. And I'm just so busy that time flies. It's like 5 p.m. already, almost. And I remember just I woke up like at 4:30 in the morning, and it's already 5 p.m. And then we had RD here, wires only.
Yep.
Then you came down, and because you're in. So whenever like people like you are in town, I'm like, dude, let's do it right now. Like let's connect.
Quick.
But you're like busy, and I'm sure you have a lot of things lined up. I know you told me about tomorrow. You have a tomorrow lined up. Then you have to fly out, and you're just busy. When you stay busy with high level activities, and you're just focused on $1 million activities, $1 billion activities are gonna come next. But when you're just focused like that, the day ends, and you're like, man, I could have done more.
Right.
Because you always feel like you could have done more, but then you don't even have to check the scoreboard, because the scoreboard is always like way high because you're so focused on those activities. So I think what you said is very, very, very important, and it's key.
Yeah. So Dorm Room to Millionaire was the first book. And then The Secret to Knowing It's Already Done.
Yeah.
Is all about, that came from like when COVID happened. It's like the ability to stay focused in a world of distractions. And that was basically, I was going to make the title 30 million at 30, but in the industry I'm in, we can't really talk too much about numbers because it gets looked at poorly.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, right? So this book is more, it's written better, more stories, and it's applicable. Is
this the second book that you read?
Yeah, so we launched it on the ebook's already out, and it went Wall Street Journal #2, which is super cool. We wanted New York Times, but that's just a very difficult thing to do, which is fine. And it's good, man. The response has been great, and the physical books are going to ship, I want to say, the end of the month.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. You don't make money in books.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I've always been one of these people to really respect wealth. Like when I was younger, I respected the wealthier men and women who wanted to give back and teach other people. There's so many wealthy people.
Yeah.
But like you don't need to do a freaking podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you do it because you're like, okay, I got all these cars and watches and vacations, all this stuff. But shit, dude, I wanna help people.
Yeah.
So I've always been like, when I make it and continue to make it, I'm gonna do my best to help pull up as many people as I can.
Yeah. I want to ask you a few more things about the book, but you said something like, I wrote something down. Your purpose on earth is to help millions of people become great and fulfill their potential. Can you add to that?
Yeah.
Well, why is that?
Well, the word legacy comes in my mind. And more recently, I've come to the realization, no matter how much we do, most of us will be forgotten about fairly quickly. I think the deciding factor where people go to your funeral or not is the weather outside. So knowing that to be true, which I believe that's true, I think people on this planet should do whatever they want to do and be happy and fulfilled and just screw everyone's opinion. Make yourself, just do what you want to do. Chase your purpose and your dream. But for me, I give a lot of grace to God for blessing me with certain qualities and tangibles and ways of connecting with people, and the art of speaking and connecting, whatever that is. I want to make sure I maximize that to the fullest potential and impact as many people as I can. And I know you're a father. I'm not a father yet, but one day I want to be a phenomenal example for our kids of someone, mom and dad did really well and we grew up very nicely in this nice big home, but they they help people. Like, I think that's important. And I remember being a little kid going to insurance conventions. And I remember people coming up to me and they would say, your mom and dad helped us with A, B, and C. And now we live in this house instead of this house. And it's just amazing. So I think that kind of hit me at a young age, where it's not just about making money, but it really is about making a difference.
Right. That's awesome. And your book, you said, a lot of people have told me that you don't make a lot of money and you don't make money in books. Is that true? Or what about Robert Kiyosaki with Rich Dad Poor Dad?
You make money with that book.
Like, what about David Goggins, for example? He sold a lot of books. So like, how much money do you think they made on or these people, how much money can you make on books? Because I was thinking, because I want to write a book, so I want to pick your brain on that. Like, do you think I should write a book?
Yeah, I think you should.
But what, those people make a lot of money on books, but most people don't. Why?
Most people don't, because, you know, Rich Dad Poor Dad, I think I just listened to him on one of his shows. I think it's the #1 sold business philosophy book ever. And I think he said something like 60 languages. I mean, just something just insane. I know John Maxwell has made a lot of money on books. So I think if it is that good and it does hit that hard, I think there is some money in there. But like, I get a check every month from Audible on the audiobook from Dorm Room to Millionaire that I did in 2017. I literally still get paid on that. So I think there's something there.
Is it a nice check or just like
it's a little check?
Check?
It's a couple sprinkles.
It's
a couple sprinkles. But the book it's a great business card per se. And it's just a great, like, if you like my stuff, dude, here's my book. Like Amazon $5.90, you know, something cheap. People can get it. The first book was translated into Spanish, which was cool. So there is money in books, but I didn't get rich off writing a book.
Yeah. Do you feel like books and podcasts, it's more for exposure than for making money?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I know Hormozi, he sells his book for, I think, 99 cents or it's free. Something like that. Yeah. Do you know the philosophy behind that?
Yeah. I mean, Dorm to Millionaires, I want to say a couple of bucks.
Or they charge for shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally like free plus shipping. I see a lot of people do that. Like I got that from Grant, to be honest. He always said no money, even 10X rule. I don't think he made a tremendous amount of money on 10X, but it's a great business card, and it's a great take home. Like when I go speak in Europe, I'm gonna say, hey, you know, get your phone out if you want my book. QR code it right here. Boom, you can download it tonight, and you can take me home with you.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's another extension of education and wisdom and inspiration for the audience / person listening to this call or podcast show. And
Alex, to before we close out, what's your plan to by 40? Like you're 33, you're gonna be 40. Like, what do you want to achieve? Where do you see yourself by 40? What are current big projects that you're working on right now? Yeah,
well, taking the company I'm associated with to, instead of a billion dollar company, to $1 billion per year company. And I know we're on the path to do that because of the level of value and education and leadership and CEO and corporate team that we have. Now it's just time and consistent energy and effort. To be honest, being the best, #1, being the best husband. You know, I really, I just value family, and I give so much to my parents because my parents have been married for over 40 years. My grandparents were married until my grandfather passed away, you know, it's almost 65 years. So to me, it's always been, you know, God, family, success. So husband, 1, father, 2, you know, son and brother. But then in terms of like the career, keep getting bigger, more exposure, more books, more programs. Just keep helping more people.
Yeah.
Like whatever that looks like. You know, I was talking with Ed backstage at my event in Miami, and he's just like, he said, just keep going, man. Like, you know, he goes, if you look at me, he goes, I just kept going. You know, I was with Grant a couple weekends ago in Florida talking about 10X Health and stuff. And he walked over to Brandon's office, Brandon Dawson, and we just talked one-on-one, just, you know, hung out for a little bit and just talking to me. And I was asking for advice, you know, I'm like, how do I go from like at the Alex today? Like, how did you go from the Grant you were 15 years ago to the Grant you are today? And he's like, dude, just keep fucking going, man.
Yeah.
He's like, very few people can do what I do. He goes, you can, just fucking keep going. I'm like, see, and that's the thing. All these successful people, it's like if you interviewed all your men, like they all give you the same, a lot of it's the same nuggets and the same philosophies and the same wisdom.
Yeah.
Again, I think it comes down to the execution. People don't want to do what they know they should already do. You got a freaking gym in your office. Some days you don't feel like going in there and run on the damn treadmill.
I hate it.
But you're like, bro, I got under 10% body fat. I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
And that's what people got to take away from this show.
Yeah.
Me and you we're normal people at the end of the day that did what other people didn't want to do. And anybody can decide to do that and change their life.
Yeah. You know what? When I meet somebody like you, and RD was here earlier, if I can take away one sentence that you say, that he said, because like you said, most successful people, we think alike and we follow the same business principles, but there's always one sentence that I want to get. Like you're going to say, you said something that, oh, I'm going to take that. RD said something, I'm going to take that sentence. And that's just going to make me better that day. So every day I just want to get a little bit better. Even if it's a little bit, 1% better, I want to get 1% better.
That's it.
Speaking of that, like how do you choose who you allow in your circle? Because the more successful you get, at least for me, like I'm more selective now with the people that I want to collaborate with the people that I want to have in my life, with people that I want to spend dinners with, people that I want to spend my time with.
Right.
How do you process? What do you think when you're processing? Okay, well, I got this, because I'm sure a lot of people hit you up. Hey, let's meet up. Hey, let's meet up. Let's go to lunch. Let's do this. Let's collaborate. Let's do a podcast. How do you select who am I gonna bring into my life and who am I gonna? I'm gonna stay away from that person.
Well, I'm fortunate to still have some of my like day one like buddies. So I have like a group chat where it's like literally my high school friends, where I'm always gonna be Alex with them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing there. Like, they don't do what I do. I don't do what they do, and there's just genuine like brotherhood, friendship, love. So that's there. But in terms of like my environment, my circle, it's very tight, man. Like, my cousins are my best friends. We spend a lot of time together. My wife is my best friend. Like even at Coachella, I was with my business partner, Matt, who's made $40 million. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And it's not just about money. I don't want people to, it's all about money. It's not about money. I feel like you can really feel people's intentions, the genuineness of somebody's heart. Are they full of it? Or do they really give a damn about helping people? But I don't like any negativity, drama, gossip. I like people that cause me to think bigger. One of the reasons why I made a decision, like I'm going to get closer with people like Ed, like Rob Dyrdek has been a mentor from afar, a couple phone calls, saw him a couple of times in person. And like people like that, I look at Rob and I'm like, wow, husband, father, business, success. Like that's my thing. And some people get at me at this. Like some people say, oh, Alex, you shouldn't say that stuff. But I'm like, listen, a mentor for me is not going to be somebody that nuclear bombed his marriage. Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit if he has $2 billion, man. Yeah. That's why I hold people like you, people like Grant. I just think the men out there that quote unquote have it all, that's who I want to be spending time with. Yeah. If they don't have it all, I respect, I don't judge, I don't care. Yeah. But you're not gonna influence me unless you really have like a future version that I'm striving for. Yeah.
Well, if you ever need some advice with kids, let me know, because I have a lot of practice on that. Yeah.
I'll be hitting you up, man, no doubt.
And Alex, to close out, give us a story that you've never shared before, like something that you've done that you haven't shared publicly, like something new.
Well, one time in Paraguay, and this isn't like that great, but it's just kind of crazy. Yeah. So we have an event in another city in Paraguay. I think they sold 1,500 tickets for it. And this is a pretty poor country, man. Yeah. Like Paraguay, I was only there once, but I'm thinking, and that's the thing, when I travel, I get so much more gratitude, because I'm like, dude, I'm like, God, I'm so sorry for ever complaining about these things. Oh, my Rolls Royce tire is a little flat. I'm like, dude, Alex, you're such a little bitch, man.
Yeah.
Like, you go to these countries, man, and you see people living, it is rough, you know? Yeah. But I was in Paraguay. We were supposed to fly to another city, Asuncion or something. Mm-hmm. And they canceled the flight for whatever reason. And I'm with one of my guys, JD from Costa Rica. He's like, bro, 1,500 tickets. I go, how far is the drive? He's like, bro, drive? There's mountains and all this stuff. We're gonna miss the event. He's like, we have to go to the event. And I'm like, dude, we have to go to the event. So we like, someone's cousin is a pilot.
Oh shit.
So we get in this van, we drive up this hill, we pull up, I can't make this shit up. We pull up to a barn. And this dude walks out. The co-pilot, I think, was drinking like tequila or something, dude. Big old belly. I'm thinking, this is fucking crazy. My cousin's with me too, Case. And they're like, come help me. And I'm like, okay, we'll help you with what? We open this barn up and it's a freaking plane. Dust on the bird. I don't know why the hell I got on this thing. I am pushing a wing out of a barn in the middle of Paraguay an hour before I'm supposed to get on a microphone.
What year was this?
It was 17 or 18.
Okay.
And I'm making good money, but there's no plane. There's no jet to charter. Like, we're in the middle of freaking the woods. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we push this damn plane out. We get in, it's hotter than hell. I take my shirt off. I'm literally drenched in sweat. I'm in like business slacks. I take all my shirts off, my cousin's shirt. We're sweating our asses off. And I'm sitting there on the plane and I'm like, is this guy really a pilot? And they're like, calm the hell, calm down. It's all good. So I'm praying the entire time, sweating my ass off. The propellers are going. And I swear to God, dude, we
it's
flew
not a good sign when you have the propellers.
We flew off a mountain and we landed in a freaking field. The light at their airport lighting was people's car headlights. We land, I get off the plane, kissing the damn ground. I'm so thankful I didn't die in a freaking plane crash. And we go do the event. I got another story too. We were in Colombia one time. They threatened to arrest me if I showed up to a venue because they thought what we were doing was illegal in Bogota. 5,000 person event. Everybody in the company on a conference call says, Alex, get the hell out of Colombia, fly back to America. I call my CEO. I go, Chris, I want to do the event. And he goes, well, Pablo Escobar never asked permission. Do it. So we rent a abandoned warehouse in the middle of Colombia. We bring in all these speakers and shit. We put our own lighting up and we do an event. I have video of it. 5,000 people. And I made it out of Colombia safe and sound. Wow. I got a lot of stories, man, because some of these countries, it's just crazy.
But it seems like you get thrilled though. You like it.
It's fun. You know, it's like I have a lot of certainty, but a little uncertainty, man. That little feel living on the edge, dude, makes you feel alive. So
that's awesome, man. That's nice. Well, thank you for being so giving and such a help for the new generation that's coming out. Positive influence. Really proud of you. And congrats, man. You're a big deal. And I'm so glad we connected.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
Where can people follow you?
Yeah. Alex Morton Mindset on Instagram, Alex Morton Mindset on YouTube. Let's go.
Bro, thank you.
You got it. Thank you.
Guys, if you made it this far, I have an exclusive mastermind that I want you to join. Go to drivenacademy.com and subscribe to my exclusive mastermind where we're gonna meet in person every month at my workshop and you get more perks. All you gotta do is go to the link below and sign up. I'll see you there.